Well, I couldn't find my headphones, so I hope this sounds good. Hopefully someone will be here that can tell me if they can hear me or not. Let's see here. All right, I can hear it on here. Okay. I don't know if I'll be doing any more links right now. I'm just gonna let it ride. Let's make sure this is a good spot. All right. Hey, there's John Dubs, Part-Time Comics. Good to see you, man. I believe you have a Kickstarter running, right? I think I backed that the other day. All right. Well, I've been working all day, guys, and my neck hurts. But we're still going to do some live stream tonight. I really wanted to look through some of these island issues, and I wanted to throw some color on this alien that I started last week. Or I guess it was 2 weeks ago. So my last stream, if you want to see this come to life, you can check out that stream on my channel and see sort of, how we made that guy. And then today, I might just try to color him with some colored pencils. I don't know. Sure, why not, right? But first, we'll look through some issues of Island. I have all of the issues of Island, but I tried to grab the ones, and I don't think I have all the exact right ones because things would skip number, or like stories will continue from one to the next, but not always in the next issue. So I tried to grab the ones that had Ancestor in it by Matt Sheean and Malachi Ward. I really like those guys. I really like their work. And I don't have that collected. I thought I did, but I don't. And so I have it all here in the Island issues. So I'm going to try to look at it there. But I need to pick up that collection. It's a really, really cool work, as you'll see here. John and Dan both have Kickstarter running right now. I think it's... let me just look here. I just backed it the other day. And I can give you guys the shout you deserve. Where is my Kickstarter? And then, so after I look this up, we'll go ahead and look through these. Where's my Kickstarter link? There it is. I also am going to be running a Kickstarter very soon, so I hope when the time comes, everyone will check that out. I'm still working on my Eris comic. Actually, after I finish up finding this link, I'll go ahead and show you guys a little preview of that. A page that I finished the other day. It's almost completely done drawing it right now. Drumsticks of Doom. That's right. So it's the Drumsticks of Doom Band on the Silver Mountain 2, currently on Kickstarter. Looks like you have 47 hours left to go, and you only have you're under $1,000 away, and that's a good sign. So if you guys haven't already backed the Drumsticks of Doom on Kickstarter, go over there right now and throw some money their way. It's a really cool looking project. I've gotten stuff from these boys before, and it is always a lot of fun. So definitely check it out. Here, let's show a little quick preview of what I got cooking over here. Well, here's something I just finished. Oh, I can't show you that, sorry. Let me find a non-spoilery image for everybody here. There is so many pages here of Eris right now. Here's a page. It's not too spoilery. I was able to have some fun, put some zips on this one. A lot of splatters, which are always a lot of fun. So this is one of the pages from the 3rd chapter of Eris, which I'll be, like I said, kickstarting hopefully very soon. Turned out all right. Kind of cool. Kind of cool. Oh, you're welcome, John. Of course, my man. You guys are great. The other thing I was going to look at really quick for you guys, Canon.com. Just a reminder, this Daredevil is up for purchase. I drew this on a past stream. I still got him living here in my head and on my desk, so if anybody's interested in that. All right, let's look through a few issues of Island and see what we can see. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this series. It was a series, like an anthology series that was out from Image in, what would it have been in 2014, 15, maybe 16? Not 14, 15 probably. I think it was started by Brandon Graham, and it featured a lot of really cool indie artists and a lot of people you don't normally see even from Image. And so I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really fun series. It exposed me to a lot of new people. It gave a lot of people whose work I liked a bigger audience. And one of the reasons I was thinking about it as I'm finishing Eris is when I originally started Eris, I had hoped to get it in Island and had already kind of talked to Brandon a little bit. And right around that time is when they stopped doing Island, so it never happened. But it was still a cool series when it was around. Each issue would have different stories by different artists and some other content. There'd be sometimes write-ups of different things. What is this? Probably a Michael DeForge by the look of it. A lot of different things. So this issue has, and they have these cool intro pages. So we got Malachi Ward, Matt Sheean. That's the one we're going to look at the most. Dilraj Mann, really cool artist. Amy Claire, Tessa Black, Kate Craig, Katie Lane. Really cool stuff. So this series here, Ancestor, is by Matt Sheean and Malachi Ward, two of my favorite guys. They collaborate a lot on science fiction stuff, and I really enjoy everything they do. I thought I had my lamp turned up all the way, but part of it is the angle here. Anyway, they do some really cool stuff. One of the things I was looking at was their colors, which are probably not going to read great here on camera, but they do so many things right. Not only are their stories usually full of really cool, big sci-fi ideas, but they have awesome page layouts, really cool, interesting character expressions and designs. Everything about their work feels very uniquely them, but also has these little touch points. And it doesn't feel like it's making references as much as it's kind of taking different touch points from sci-fi ideas and illustration sort of styles. So it's kind of a future world, and people have these, it's kind of, they're inundated with ads and stuff, kind of like we are now, sort of floating around their heads at all times. And they're invited to this house of like a sort of like a technocrat, a techno guru guy. And things kind of get weirder as the story goes on, but it's full of some really great kind of tense moments too. It sort of reminds me of that movie The Invitation, but then it also has elements that are sort of similar to maybe Ex Machina, things like that, to give you a sense of what their kind of vibe is. And their drawing style is really cool. They work together, and I think that there's not a defined role that they take. I mean, I guess I've talked to Malachi before, and they've said like, okay, maybe I do more of the penciling or he does more of the inking or whatever, but it feels like a very neat mix of the two guys. They both do work separately as well, but when they're together, it's almost like this third person comes out that they're doing. John W. likes comics anthologies. Good man. So they go to this guy's house and things kind of get weird. They get locked in. This is this techno guy, kind of a Steve Jobs kind of a character. And as you can see, the colors are pretty wild. I don't know how they make this work. They have these sort of monochrome scenes, but then in other scenes they have these really bold colors. And I remember talking to Malachi and Matt once about how they had done a bunch of black and white stuff together, and when they finally got to do some color, they really wanted to kind of take full advantage of it. Here's a Dilraj Mann piece. His stuff is really interesting looking. It's kind of, there's a lot of plumpness to the figures, a lot of strange cartooning. I think it's kind of got him in trouble a few times. I mean, we're not going to get into all the trouble of people featured in this book. The ones that I've met are nice people. The ones I don't know, I don't know. I'm just looking at the work purely here. And Island, I think, in the long run was in retrospect, was a cool thing that featured a lot of really great artists. And Dilraj Mann is one. I believe he's based in the UK. I've got a few of his books. I really do enjoy sort of the way he tells stories. His dialogue across panels really creates a lot of nice conversational tension between the characters. Everything feels really natural in his work, the way he writes it. This is a really cool sequence of kind of a club, the music and the staccato of the panels, along with the staccato of the music, these cuts through it. Pretty cool stuff. So we're not going to look at every single page of every one of them, but and then here's an Amy Claire one, which I'm not really familiar with Amy Claire's stuff, but this one is really neat as well. Again, this stuff showcases sort of a very American, especially indie sensibility comics feel, where there's a lot of exploration of the form, which I don't think you see as much in the more mainstream things. Hey, there's my receipt. Got this at Graham Cracker Comics. I used to shop there when I worked downtown. Sea Witch. This one's pretty cool. Who's this? Sea Witch must be Dane. Oh, Kate, Tessa Black. That's right. This is the kind of stuff you used to see on Tumblr a lot. I feel like it's a lost subgenre of comic. I do love it. A lot of European influence. I like the one color. Pretty cool. That's pretty wild, right? I just can't believe Image Comics is putting out stuff like this, you know? But I guess I shouldn't show some of that on here. Might get flagged. And then Brandon would do some of the back matter things. And there'd be a little bit of, you know, some photography, things like that. Brandon's work always was really cool in that it has a lot of ephemera about it. You know, a lot of photos and sketches and kind of mashed up things all together. Let's see, so that was issue 3. Here's issue 5. Let's just see what we find here. Yeah, here's some more Ancestor. Man, look at these color choices. This bold, like the kind of pastel yellow with these bold pinks and purples. Oh, this is so cool. Look at that chair. That's awesome. Jeremy Heiler, good to see you, man. Evening, hope you're doing well. I am doing well. Well, other than this neck ache that I have. Other than that, I'm doing pretty good. It's been well, that and my wife has had walking pneumonia. She's finally almost over it, but the last 3 weeks have been... January's kind of been a wash as far as her health is concerned. But yeah, he kind of becomes a being of energy here. Man, this is good. I can't wait. I need to reread this. It's full of not just great imagery, but the actual story is extremely interesting. I feel like it's ahead of its time. You know, there's things like, even things like Squid Game that feel like they're doing a similar thing as some of this. They start putting people down here, rifling them down, slitting throats. Pretty wild book. Oh, and then the other thing that's cool is Island is also the first place where Habitat by Simon Roy ran, which I think I do have that collection. Simon Roy, of course, worked on Prophet with Brandon Graham, but has done tons of stuff on his own. And if you like sci-fi stuff and cool big ideas, look no further than Simon. He never disappoints. He'll take any sci-fi idea, like say even an exoskeleton or a mech suit, and sort of innovate on how the world is built around it and how the different people interact with it. And his stuff still has that auteured, drawn by hand, you know, lettered by hand kind of feel to it, which I really love. There's an immediacy to Simon Roy's stuff that I struggle to have in my work. And Habitat is really great. It's about these people that have sort of lived on this giant, I don't know what you call it, like a space station for so many years that people don't even really remember how the technology works. It's just this magic that's always been around them. It's got shades of, Warhammer 40K in there, but then with a little bit of a Star Trek feeling and then some Mad Max. So yeah, they're in this big sort of Halo-style environment that floats in space. Got some Farrell Dalrymple in here. Farrell stuff is always good. I don't know how Farrell does the kind of work he does so quickly. Again, I love the hand-lettered stuff. Everything's done on paper. Everything's very integrated. But Farrell's stuff is fantastic. If you've never checked out, say, the Wrenchies or his other stuff, you really need to take a look. Nick Forrest, wish you good health. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Jeremy, oh, man, I feel like I got sick, then got over it. Then my son. Yep. Dude, absolutely, man. There's always something, especially when you get to my age. I say our age. I guess a lot of you are probably younger than me. But, hey, we got drinks. So I really wish this magazine had gone on, not just because I wanted to be in it, but because it was really just a fun place. That this little section here is like these fashion drawings overlaid on photographs. It's kind of cool. So that stuff's neat. Here's issue 7. This one has a really cool Malachi and matte cover. This figure with all these like faces and stuff in it, and this kind of infinite void background. That looks like a Miriam stuff. Got Kim Kirsch, Johnny Christmas, Robin Bougie, Matt Sheean, Malachi Ward. But yeah, I mean, a lot of times I would get these issues and I'd be super excited about one of the stories because it was somebody that I liked their work, and then there would be 2 other stories in it that I was like, who is this? How did I not know who this was before? And you get some really cool stuff. There's some really striking stuff in this story here. And then you get to Matt and Malachi again, and things get really weird as their story goes on. You got some prose here. But yeah, Matt and Malachi's story wraps up in just these bizarre, you know, all of a sudden this almost like alien kind of thing shows up and these people start tripping. Look at this design though. It's so cool. These designs of these kind of astral travelers, I guess you'd call them, that they all turn into. They kind of all turn into Eternals or something like that. But pretty cool. Okay, let's flip through a couple more of these. Some more Habitat, Simon Roy. And I kind of thought it was cool the way the logo would sort of change a little bit depending on, I guess they only did that in the first few issues because it probably got confusing, but I liked that the logo changed every time. But they kind of started standardizing it a little bit more. It started becoming a little more consistent here. That looks like Michael Forge. Not my favorite. I know a lot of people dig their stuff. For some reason, it's not necessarily my cup of tea, but it's kind of interesting to look at. It's got shades of Ivan Brunetti in there, some Chris Ware action, even stuff more like it's almost cubist, you know. It's kind of interesting. Jeremy's 39 years young. Muscle Killers. Steroids for you this week. Oh, buddy. Sorry to hear you not feeling great. But as you can see, the magazine featured lots of different types of work, which I think is really cool, too. There's a lot of times when... Oh, there's a Ben Sears spread. Ben Sears is great. I've seen that guy around shows for ages now. Love Ben's stuff. More Ben Sears. More Simon Roy. So if you haven't read Habitat or Ancestor, which are featured in here, they are collected separately. Unfortunately, a lot of the other stuff in here is not. So the only way to see it is to pick up some of these Island issues. Oh man, look at that. Look at this big guy. That's pretty cool. And I don't think these are very hard to well, they might be difficult to find, but when you find them, I can't imagine they're going to be priced very high. I don't think the series was a huge seller, unfortunately. For some reason, people are kind of averse to... Jeremy's right, Ben is killer. People are averse to these anthologies. I think this cover and one of the stories in here is by Anta, which is sort of more of an adult-style artist, so it's interesting that's in here. This stuff is cool. This looks like F. Chu, yeah. Brandon Graham and yeah, so we got F. Chu, Anta, Gail Bertrand, Katie Skelly, and Sarah Herricks. This one is a particularly strange issue. There's a lot of these anthropomorphic animal stuff in it. If you're into that, I know there's a lot of that online. This one's pretty neat. The art style, super clean line. Not crazy about these colors. But look at that. Whew. Dang, man. It reminds me of Seth Fisher, which reminds me of Jeff Darrow, which reminds me of Mobius. A lot of cool stuff in here. This is a really great series. If you ever see these in a bin somewhere, grab them, you know. Definitely grab them, pick them up, and give them a shot, you know. There's a lot of fun stuff featured in those. All right, so we're just going to goof off with some color. no stakes here. I was having some thoughts about how I wanted to work on this. And, you know, I just got a big, bag of colored pencils here. Whoop, there's one fell on the ground. So I think what I'm gonna do here is pick out a few and just see what we can come up with. That's kind of a cool color. That's kind of a cool color. What else do we got here? I thought I had sharpened a bunch of these because my daughter was using them. That's why I actually brought these out. My daughter had been using them. We were drawing on the table over there, and I was like, you know, I never color with colored pencils because it's not great for reproduction of comics, so I just don't use them very much. But it is fun. What else we got in here? Ooh, maybe that blue. And you know what? I'm gonna just use whatever's sharp. I don't want to sharpen anything right now. There's an orange. I should probably grab some kind of yellow. Sometimes it's nice to work with. I try to make myself work with some other materials that I don't normally work with. Just to sort of, you know, get outside of your comfort zone a little bit. Now I gotta pick up these pencils that I dropped. Get outside of my comfort zone. So again, I have no plan here, so we're just gonna see what happens. Let's see. Is it too stereotypical to do some green on this alien? Maybe try these ones. Alright, let's just set these right here. Mess in here. Alright. Jeremy's drawing along. Colored a Wolverine the other day. A little bit fun. Nick Force says, Final Inks came out amazing. I'm excited to see this get colored. Well, we'll see what happens, you know. Jeremy, you probably might have seen my boy Dan posted some interesting Wolverine action there on his Instagram. I've seen some of those pages and they're looking crazy. So we're going to start off really light. I'm not sure. I really haven't touched these since I drew with my daughter, so I'm kind of just going to scribble and see what comes out. You can always go darker. That's one thing I remember when I did paint. I used to paint is you can always go darker. It's a lot harder to go lighter. I think I'm going to want a little more blue in here, but I'll lay down some green first. Kind of see what we see here. I definitely want some blue in here though. And we're probably going to want, well, let's just see what happens. Let's try some blue now. Jeremy says he did see that. Oh snap, saw him drawing on Friday of the feudal era, so that should be fun to see come out. Yeah, it's gonna be cool. You know, Dan always delivers. Dan always delivers. It's been hard, man. This year I feel like I've been working on a lot of things that just are not out still. This all of 2024 I've been working on things that just haven't been out. So like Eris and like another project that I still can't, you know, say much about. that is sort of a period piece. And that's the hard thing, man, with comics and publishing in general, is that you a lot of times are working on projects for a long time before anybody's even aware that they're happening. And it can be a little tricky sometimes, a little demoralizing, if you're having a bad time. Luckily, I haven't been having a bad time, but I'm just excited for people to see, the things I've been jamming on. So right now it's still pretty subtle. I don't know how much that's even coming across. I wish I could dim the light, but then it kind of makes the image look a little weird. I just applied for a grant that would hopefully allow me to get some different camera equipment here. So we'll see if that goes through. My friend Beth encouraged me, and my wife encouraged me to apply for one of the Chicago artist grants. Let's get a little bolder here. Let's get a little bit bolder. Let's start making some of these a little more. So I'm trying to change my direction of my scribbles with each layer. So hopefully I can build in a little bit of texture. One thing that's cool about colored pencils is that you can build up a little bit. And so if you can add the element of texture in there as well, hopefully that can... Yeah, we want this boy to look cold. He's gonna be a cold alien. So it's kind of like cross-hatching with color, in a way. Oh yeah, that's kind of fun. That's kind of fun. Just kind of subtly getting them going there. It's kind of glowing a little bit. The hardest, and it seems like things aren't happening. Yeah, well, Jeremy just dropped a book too, I believe, right, Jeremy? I hope folks have been checking that out. Jeremy has a little Batman collection out of some of the Batman comics he's done, I believe. I didn't pick one up yet, dude. I need to grab one. I just have been sort of preoccupied lately. But it looks very cool. Jeremy's work is pretty great. Jeremy Heiler. Let's see what happens if I put some of this gray color down here. So I'm kind of just noodling my way through this, so we'll see how it turns out. I think we're going to need to add some blue to that, though. That's a little bit bland. I just want to tie that in a little bit, you know. You know what, why don't we give this a little bit of an underlight or something like that. Let's do something to give it a little bit of character here. All right, here we go. I have this drawing that I have to show it on here sometime. My buddy Riley Rossmo did me a drawing one time, or did a drawing one time that he gave to me. That was it's Cammy from Street Fighter, and it's done in colored pencils that he was doing with his daughter, kind of like what I'm doing right here. And it's such a cool drawing. And I had it hanging up for a while, but then my wife was like, "How come you only have this one piece of color? Because all the other art on the wall in our other room is all black and white." And I was like, "Well, I don't know. It's from Riley. It's cool." And she's like, "Well, maybe put up a color one instead." It's like, okay. And you know, happy wife, yada yada yada. Let's incorporate some purple, and some pink. Eye of Thundera. This is amazing. That is amazing art. Well, thank you, Eye of Thundera. I appreciate it. Jeremy says, yes, sir. I need to send it to you. Well, you know, whatever. Jeremy says, I've been a huge inspiration. Well, I appreciate that. I mean, you're an inspiring guy as well. It's good to see people like you making work that you're passionate about. Because that's really what I like. I like it when the work has some passion in it. It isn't just soulless soulless art. We have enough of that around. Okay. Yeah, Jeremy's work is really great. Highly recommend checking it out if you haven't. Jeremy Heiler. I don't know what your handle is, dude, but I'm sure people can find it. Do some more texturing kind of stuff here. So we're just building up some color here. I'm not sure how it's not looking probably as great on camera, but it sure looks cool here. It's not very dark yet, so don't panic. Do some I kind of like my pinks and blues. If you guys haven't noticed in the past, sometimes it's good to throw a little bit of orange in there. Call them my candy colors. Alright. Let's get some purple. Maybe the smoke will be a little more. Brunson, yo, what's up? Nick Forst took over part of our office for all your framed art. That's really cool, man. The ones your wife prefers over her desk. Well, that's nice of you. Brunson. Gotta love when Brunson's in the house. I'm feeling the need for some more of a purplish color going on here, maybe. No, something warm inside here to kind of break that up. Get this I think I need, what do I need? Maybe some of this, what is this color? We have this neonish green over here. What can I do with that? Let's switch this up a little bit. Maybe we can use that over here. Ooh boy, look at that. That's something. cloak popping a little bit here. There's only little bits of color in here, so get that cloak popping a little bit. Tie that together. Oh yeah, babe. Oh yeah, babe. You know what? Let's go ahead and just pop that on here too. I was gonna make that a different color, but I think if we go bold here, that might be a good choice. We're gonna go back in with some blue. Try to give that some shape. Up. What would happen if I did like a purple on here? Shoot back even further. All right. That's something. There's something going on here. Not sure if this pink's completely working right now, but I feel like it might be too light. Looking good, Jeremy says. Seen anything new lately? That's a great question. I rewatched Titan. You guys have seen Titan? It's a pretty wild movie. I don't know how to describe it in any way that's remotely appropriate for a stream. But it is a crazy movie. Same director that did a film called Raw, which is also really good. What's her name? Something Dakano. She's French. It's a French film, and it's about a woman with a interesting relationship with cars and a steel plate, a titanium plate in her head. And I'm not really sure what else to say about it other than, you know, watch if you have a strong stomach and if you're patient for art films. But it's pretty good. Raw is probably a little more approachable than Titan. But they're both really, really cool films with some insane imagery in them and really great performances. And there's even some crossover. There's like a verse between the two of them, I think. New, though, I'm not so sure I've seen anything new. The last thing I saw in the theater, I think, was Nosferatu, which I believe I touched on last week, or whichever last time I streamed was. I rewatched Cuckoo, which is really good. What else did I rewatch recently? I've been watching a lot of oldie goodies. Like Crash 96, but more strange. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty crazy movie. But I don't know. How about you guys? See anything good lately? Anything I should check out? I'm always looking for new movies to watch. I'm going to show my wife The Substance at some point in the next week. She hasn't seen it yet. I saw it and loved it. And I think she's not a huge horror movie person, but I feel like Substance has a little bit of a crossover appeal for even non-horror fans. It's a pretty fun and ridiculous movie. So I think she'll get a kick out of it. I know I want to see it again because I quite liked it. That's kind of cool. I'm going to even get this blue a little stronger here on the mask. See if I can put a little more form in here. Some pink in with this orange. And I'm not shy about, I might even throw some white out back on top of this in spots to kind of pull it all together. All right, up there on the top, maybe I should try to use more of that green. It's all alone right now on the bottom. Will it work? Who knows? Will it be fun? Heck yes, man. Give these guys a little dot here. Maybe he's kind of got that glowing scars thing like Mass Effect 2 had. I always like that. This calls for maybe a little bit of yellow though. I did start playing Aliens Dark Descent, which is, I usually don't like RTSs, but I heard it was really good, and so far, it is really good. I might have to play more of that tonight after I'm done. I think I'm going to leave these. His eyes, maybe I'll leave those white too. Let's see if I can get that yellow that I found. Nosferatu and The Substance. Wife liked both. Substance rocked. Other than that, just old stuff. You know, old stuff is good though. Old stuff is good. Okay, let's see if this yellow does anything, huh? Oh yeah, see, I thought that might help tie some of that green in there a little more. Yeah, there we go. Okay. No, that's not it. Green. Do green over here. That's a little yucky, isn't it? Kind of nice though. I like it being a little yucky back here. This is coming together pretty quick, actually. I'm kind of surprised. Another pass on blue on this. I've been watching a lot of Star Trek The Next Generation, which I've seen multiple times, but I hadn't done a watch of the whole seasons, you know, for a minute. And the bummer was that I got through season, what is it, 3, and it ends on a cliffhanger. But then the service I was watching on doesn't have season 4 or 5 or anything, so I'm just kind of stuck on the cliffhanger of Picard being a Borg. And I'm like, come on, I gotta know. I mean, I already know what happens, but I was like, this is not a good stopping point here. Okay, I'm liking this. I actually think what I want to do is add some whiteout onto this to make a couple areas pop a little bit more. Something else on the map here. It's just not quite there yet. Resistance is futile. That's right, Nick. Yeah, Jeremy, right. It's like it's coming together pretty quick. I'm surprised. Part of it is that I've been coloring all day on my iPad, working on Eris, and so I think sometimes when I get in the groove, mostly I'm just a little braver at this point in the day, so I'm less scared to just go in here and see what happens. All right, so, oh yeah, it's looking all right. It's looking all right. Why don't we use some whiteout? Why not, right? We can go over the top of this. Oh, Full Metal Jacket, huh? Full Metal Jacket has a great first half. I am one of those guys that says that. Not a huge fan of the second half. But it's an interesting film. I mean, it's Kubrick, man. You can't go wrong with Kubrick, right? So let's just pop some white on here. Let's see what happens with some white. First, I want to fix up these areas here. Really make them pop out. This one just kind of came to me, you know, last week. I don't know if I mentioned, I was just sort of had this, I started sketching and this sort of came out, you know, and for some reason, these shapes were in there. So I'm going to just follow that and see, we'll see how it pans out, right? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, there we go. That's the stuff. That's the stuff. Kind of amazing what a few little touches can do sometimes. We're going to go ahead and give him a little bit of a glow here because I'm a cheater. We just want it to pop real good, that's all. think as an artist, I'm usually at my best when I'm feeling kind of brave and trying different things. A lot of the struggle for me is just getting my head to that spot where I can do that and feel sort of emboldened. Yeah, she's coming along good here. We're going to make this metal a little more metally. That is one thing. The white pencils don't really do much. You really kind of got to go back in with some kind of liquid white if you're going to. Okay, don't overdo it, Tyrell. Don't overdo it. All right. Getting there. I'm just going to put the white, the eyes were already white, but since I have white out on these things, I'm going to put white out on there just to kind of make them the same whiteness. All right. It was so cold in here earlier, but now I'm burning up. I'm going to turn this off. All right. Okay. Okay. Once you're in the zone, you become Neo for a day. Speaking of Neo, man, have you guys been checking out Neo Edison on Instagram? That guy is killing it right now. I don't know what they put in his drinks lately, but my man is on fire. I am definitely going to have to get a piece from Edison at some point. I think my neighbor has a concert going on upstairs or something. All right, y'all. I'm actually really liking this. I'm thinking it's pretty close. We might be in and out today. What do you all think? You think this is looking all right? If I keep it out much longer, I'm gonna overdo it. Let's just add a little more texture back here. Bring some of that white into other areas. We need a little bit of chaos, of course, because it's a Tyrell drawing. So why not throw a little more chaos in here? And there you have something I think pretty neat. And y'all didn't think I could color, did you? All right. Give it a rest, Tyrell. Give it a rest. Well, I'll get a good photo of this for online. It's not showing up perfect here, but I think that's looking pretty neat. I'm actually pretty pleased with that, which is not what I expected to be saying. I was kind of thinking, oh boy, how am I going to do this? Pretty close. One more thing, and then I think we're going to get it. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Nick. Oh, yeah, Nick, killing it with those commissions. Yeah, bro, he leveled up. You're absolutely right. Edison just all of a sudden, I mean, not all of a sudden. He's been working at it for a long time, but it seems like sometime in the end of 2024, something just really clicked in that guy's brain, and he reached a new platform. It's exciting when that happens. I've had that happen before. I think everybody does. They have these moments. Let me just drop my brush. They have these moments where they're kind of like, where I've been like, oh, there it is. I understand something I never understood before. All right, I got to fix a couple little, I don't know if this will even go over the things I had here, but we're going to try to. This is probably not going to dry on top of this very good. But hey, what's the worst that could happen, right? I got 7-Up in my cup. I got bubbles up in my tub. All right, guys. I think that's about, we'll call that game on this guy. Needs a signature, of course. Let's get that going. And if I can just stop putting ink on it, we'll call it done. Oh yeah, here we go. TC, that and me. I'm quite happy with that. I'm quite happy with that. All right, folks. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to go give my my neck a break. Let me just do one more thing here. I got this new little pen, and it's been kind of fun. But yes, I need to go give my neck a break. And chill out. But thank y'all for tuning in again. Again, if you haven't backed Drumsticks of Doom on Kickstarter, that's a couple friends of the show's book. You need to go check it out. If you haven't picked up Jeremy Heiler's Batman book, go do that. You know, hopefully I'll be back either next Tuesday or the Tuesday after. But thank you all for tuning in. And please enjoy your evenings and stay safe out there. Rock and roll.